Right. Everybody ready? Let's do this one. Greetings. I'm Blackjack Fitz, and today's puzzle is Golden Cages by Dorlir. Um, let's read the rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we're going to place the digits 1 through 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Digits on a gold line can't repeat and must not include any pair of consecutive digits. So these are Nabner lines. So if this was let's go here, because this is the only one where we could potentially have a repeat. So if this was a 2, then none of these digits could be 2 or 1 or 3. Because a 2 would be a repeat. So if this was a 2, that would break it. If that was a 1, or if that was a 3. All of this is too naughty for words. Right. The sum of the digits within a cage must sum to the small clue in the top left corner. So standard killer. So these are all sort of standard rules. That means that these 3 cells combined are going to have to sum to 8 because that's the sort of clue in the top left corner. And that's all the rules. So I'll put a link to this puzzle in the video description. Although I think it's in testing right now, so assuming all of the testing goes well, then I'll put then if you're seeing this video, there's a link to this puzzle in the video description. But now I'm going to try to solve it with the help of Twitch chat. If you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get started here. So, right. Okay, I have no idea how difficult this is. This is, as you can see, a brand new puzzle. I do have Dorlir in chat with me. Dorlir, what do you think? Is this going to be a 3-star, a 4-star? Are we going to be here for a while? What's the plan? I genuinely have no idea. 3 to 4. Okay, so we should prepare to invest a little bit of time here. This pattern looks interesting, the way that up here works. But I think I'm going to take a little bit of low-hanging fruit here and sort of note that there has to be a 1 because, I don't like the way that my large digits are obstructing the cage totals. Right, so we've got a 1 in there because you can't have 3 digits add up to 8 without a 1 because 2 plus 3 plus 4 sums to 9. So do we get the same effect with 21? No, because we could get 6, 7, and 8. To add up to 21. So we don't even get to pencil mark a 9 in there. But that does mean that there's no 1 on this line, and it's a 4-cell line. So this is either 3, 5, 7, 9 or 2, 4, 6, 8. Can you could do something like 2, 4, 6, 9, I think. 9, 7, 5, 2. So it doesn't have to be strictly all the evens or all the odds, but you have to have basically one of these digits is going to be from the 2, 3 set. One's going to be from 4, 5. One's going to be from 6, 7, and one's going to be from 8, 9. Obviously, it doesn't have to be in that order, but we can think about the digits that go on this Nabner line, each of them as being from these sort of combos. And there has to be 1 of each. And then obviously, whatever we pick here, let's say we pick that one ends up being a 4. And again, that could be in any of these positions. But if the digit that's between 4 or 5 shows up, if it's a 4, it forces the 2. If conversely it's a 5, this could be 2 or 3, but it forces the 7. Which then forces the 9. So when we get one of those digits, we're going to force it. Can't be 2, 4, 6, 8, so there's always a 9. If it's 2, 4, 6, 8, that's a good point. It's a parity point. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. That's a great point, LM Damasi. If this was 2, 4, 6, 8, then all of these 3 digits are going to be odd which is impossible because that would make this cage total need to be odd, but the cage total is even. So we're going to have at least one even digit here. So there's always a 9 on it somewhere. Right. That's a great point. And is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh yeah, because if it was 8, it forces it all the way down. Yeah. Okay, so that's the point. I was looking at just what 4 or 5 does, but let's say this was 8. Then this can't be 7. It has to be 6. That can't be 5. It has to be 4. It can't be 3. It has to be 2. So it forces it to be like that all the way down. That's very, very nice. So we do have a 9 somewhere on here. And can we do the same thing with, I think because we need a low even digit here, I wonder if we put a 7 here. I'm seeing people write in chat, but let me just think this through. Try to do a little bit of the logic myself here. So if this is a 6, if that was a 6, then we would have 4 and 2 forced. And then the only even digit we could get here is an 8, and that doesn't work, right? So we definitely have a 9 and a 7 on this line, which means we don't, so we don't have 6 or, we can get rid of, that kind of thing. But it could, I mean, it could just go all the way down, couldn't it? It could be like, no, it can't be 9, 7, 5, 3 either, because then how do we make the 8 cage work still? Basically, once we have a 1, these other 2 digits have to be an even and an odd. And so it can't be all of the odds either. So if this was 3, that doesn't work, because then that would have to be 5, and then we don't have an odd for it. So there's a 2 on this line. I really love this start, by the way. So we've got, sorry, that was the wrong 2, like that. So we've got 2, 7, and 9 on here. So that tells us that this isn't a 1, 2, 5. Does that mean it's a 1, 3, 4? I think that does mean it's a 1, 3, 4, right? 1, 6, 1 doesn't work. So this has to be, there's only 2 ways to make this. It's 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4, and it's not 1, 2, 5 because we need a 2, right? That was sound logic. If this was 3, that can't be 4, it has to be 5. And we have 3, 5, 7, 9, and we can't make this work. So, right. So this is a 1, 3, 4 start. And now we've got what this composition is, which is 2, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, that's lovely. That's a really nice start, Dorlir. Love it. All right, let me catch up on chat. It's 2, 5, 7, 9. Dang it. I love Damazi had that so long ago. I don't even want to know how far back into chat that was. 4 would be trouble 2. 8 cage needs an even. Yeah, okay. The short Nabner in row 9 feels like it will be the final disambiguator. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate that. So that was a very, very, very cool break-in. I think we can do some stuff here, can't we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9 are already gone. So these are a 6, 8 pair. Yes. So we'll think about this one. We'll save this one for last. Probably not the key here. Right. So, where do we go from there? This is the only cage that forced a digit. Well, this one, that feels like a good place to rule a couple of these digits out. That can't be 7 because both of these would have to be 1, and it can't be 9 because both of these would have to be 0. So that's a 2 or a 5. If it's a 5, this is a 1 and a 3 pair. Yeah. What does that do? I don't know. What about this? If this has a 1 on it, let's just imagine this 9 has a 1 on it. Then we would be in the exact, oh no, not the exact same situation as this. Oh, okay. Can it be 2, 3, 4? Right. Okay. If this is 2, 3, 4, then what are these digits? Well, they're from 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But oh, does that work? 1, 5, 7, 9. Dang, that does work, doesn't it? Okay, I thought that was gonna break because it felt like this was taking out too big a chunk out of the sort of sequence of digits 1 through 9. But actually, I think because we could go 5, 7, this would have to be 5, 7, 9 with a 1. Exactly. So this would be a 1 or a 5. Okay, so shoot, that doesn't quite do what I was thinking here. The 1, 2, 3 digit that is not in the 9 cage in row 9 goes on the Nabner in row 9. That much is true. So there is essentially, okay, so the point is that to get to 9, you need 2 different digits from 1, 2, and 3. And the way to see that is if you didn't, the lowest you could have is a 4 and a 5 and then a 1. So these 2 digits alone would put you at 9. So you have to for sure have 2 different digits from the sort of low digits of 1 through 3. And you then must have the third one on this line, because if you didn't, you would have to make this 4-celled Nabner from the digits 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which isn't a big enough stretch. If you imagine this being like that, you could go 4, 6, and 8, but then what do you do at the end? It doesn't work. So what that means is there's a floating 1, 2, 3 triple there. So these are not 1, 2s, and 3s, which feels like, I mean, I'm not pencil marking that, right? Like that. But it is true. Okay. So what does that mean? So if this wasn't a 2, then there's no low digits here, and that's not a low digit. So we could put one of them there. I don't think that's a problem. I think that's plenty easy to do, that kind of thing. Seems plenty easy. Okay. So I wonder if I feel like it's going to be more of a big picture kind of a thing around this sort of sequence of lines, maybe even with that one, rather than plucking our way through the options of each individual line. But I'm really not sure. Maybe it is just thinking about. So the different ways to make 9 are 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 4, right? There's only 3 different ways to do it. But something like 1, 2, 6, you just put a 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, it does force it, doesn't it? 1, 2, 6 becomes 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5 is all odds. So then this would be 2, 4, 6, 8's fine. Yeah. Ooh, 9 is so much less powerful than 8 is. Okay. So if this is 1, 2, 6, this is definitely 3, 5, 7, 9. And GDC is saying if it's 2, 3, 4, it's definitely 1, 5, 7, 9. That's true. So I wonder if there's digits in common we can get. So far, we've got 5, 7, and 9 in both of those iterations. But I don't think it works if this is 1, 3, 5. then this doesn't need 5, 7, or 9. It would be like 2, 4, 6, 8, or 9, right? Or it could have 7, 9 though. So unfortunately, I don't think that we get any consistent digit across all 3 different iterations of how we can make up that 9 cage. Does it have to do possibly with these 6 digits? Okay. What we can say is that this is a different way of making this. These are different 9 cages. So, okay. LM Damasi's bringing up a good point, which was, I think, a corollary of what I was just getting at. Because let's say this was the 2, 3, 4 iteration. Well, this one can't be 2, 3, 4 because that cell can't be any of them. So it's a different flavor of 9 cage. And what that means is these digits can't go there or there. In the box. So they're going to go in this suite of cells. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means... Wait, is that true at all? No, that's not even true, is it? I think I'm making a jump there. Because one of the digits could go in there. It's just not the exact same flavor. But let's say this was 2, 3, 4, and this was 1, 2, 6. Well, that could be 2. So it's not true to say that it's forced into there. Okay. Yes, people are calling me out of chat. Good. Yes. That is absolutely not true to what I was suggesting there. So I don't know what that does then. I think the point that LM Damasi was making is that, in fact, it's the opposite of what I was suggesting. There's always going to be a repeated digit because there's always 2 low digits. So if this is 2, 3, 4 and this was 1, 2, 6, then the 2's overlap. If this was, yeah, right. Okay, I see what people are getting at now. Right, so there is going to be, and it'll be a low digit. So one of these digits is going to be in one of those 2 spots. Which means what? If it's there and there, it could be done here. But if it's there and there, it could be here, or it could be there and there, and like so. I don't know what to do with that. It's true. It is true. Okay. So maybe where's 9? 9 could go in any of these cells. That's not it. 7's a bit more restricted. It can only go in... Well, no, it's not. It's not at all, is it? That's not the way to think about this. It's just really not. Okay. There is 4 low digits in those 2 strings. I feel like I'm grasping at straws here. Okay. Apparently, I'm not thinking about the right thing here. So, let's see what people. Let's get some help from the chat. The two Ren bands in column 1 and column 2 have a sum of 34. Oh, that's really interesting, isn't it? Wow, that's a great spot. Okay, so this sums to 45 minus 9 is 36, and then this is 20, so that's 56, and the sum of two columns is 90. So 90 minus 56 is 34, which is exactly what LM Damasi was getting at here, which means they both need to have a 1, because if they went 2, so 34 means a 17 average across them. So 2, if we didn't have a 1, the minimum you could do is 2, 4, 6, and 8, which is 20. So even if one of them had a 1, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so yeah, so what's the minimum of all of these? It would be 1, 3, 5, and 7. So that would be 16 each. So there's exactly 2 degrees of freedom across these two lines. Oh, it would be math like that to break in. Very cool, actually. I definitely just didn't even think about this 9 cage in that context. Oh, this would have taken me forever on my own. I'm glad. This is why we get some chat. Oh, let me thank the chat. Hold on. Thank you so much. I definitely needed that support. Okay, right. So we have these are 16 each if we minimize them, and they can be 17 total, which means we have 1 degree of freedom. So if we didn't use 1, then the 1 would have to go up to, I mean, it would be like 2. Sorry. So let's say we didn't use 1 here. We would end up with a 2, 4, 6, 8. And now we're at 20 and 16, which is 36. That's too many. So we can't do that, even with 1, 2. If we did 1, 4, 6, 8, does that work? That's 19 and no, because that moves us up 3 different. So there's a 1 and a 3 in each of these. Yes, okay. Right, so let's delete this. We've definitely got 1 and 3 in all of those. So that means there's no 1 or 3 in this, but I don't think that's going to mean much. 2, 4, well, maybe when we get to it. Now, I don't think we can have, could we have like a 9? There's going to be some other things going on. We need a 1 and a 3. Where's 1 and 3 in column 3 now? Because we've got the 2 1s and 3s allocated already. So none of those can be 1s and 3. This has to be 1 and 3, which is 4, which needs a 5. So that gives us a 5. And we've got a digit. Okay, and then this is a 1, 3 pair. Now, okay. And don't these have to be a 1, 3? Because we can't put like 1 here and 1 here. That doesn't make any sense. So this is a 1, 3 pair, right? And then, yeah. Actually, I probably should leave it. Yeah, it's like that. Okay. Very nice. Row 7, column 1 plus 5. Okay. Box 7. Now, what's this? 24. So this is 34, 21. 21 without a 5. I mean, it doesn't even have to have a 9, does it? I don't think it does. Okay. Well, only one of these can have a 5, actually. So, yeah, that's interesting. So we could go 5, 7, and then I think we have to go 6, 8, don't we? On the other one. 1, 3, 5, 7. Or, yeah, so I think it has to be 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this box. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. What does that all add up to? Hold on. Like that. So that is a sum of 21, 22, 34, which is exactly what it can be. That's minimized. Right. So that's a 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, which makes this a 2, 4, 9 line, which gives us down here we need 6, 7, and 8. Right, because we don't have the 9 and we need to get to 21. Which does tell us this is going to be 2, 4, 5, and 9. And that should add up to 20, which it does. That's very cool. Okay. And 4, so it's 4. Okay, very cool. I think we're all square on this. Man, these pencil marks. Okay, so what does that mean up here now? I'm not completely sure. Well, none of these can be 2, because whether it's 1 or 3. So 2 is in one of those positions. Not quite good enough, I don't think. But true. It is true. Okay. 21 cage needs a 9 now, because it can't be 6, 7, 8. That's a very nice spot. So then the other 2 digits in here would be, what is that, 12? 12 and 9? Yeah. So it could be 8, 4, or 7, 5. 9, 8, 4, or 9, 7, 5. I think I'll actually put that in. Because we need a 1 and a 3 now in here, don't we? I think we do. Okay. Can we put it? We can't put a 9 in here or down here. I'm not quite sure I like that. Yeah. So one of these is 1 or 3 and 6, 8. And one of them is, okay, I see the point you're trying to get at. Got it. So one of these is a 1 or 3 and 5, 7. And one of these is a 1 or 3 and 6, 8. It can't be the other way. You can't mix them, because you can't put 6 and 7 together. So whichever one of these has 6 also has 8. This can't be the one that's 6, 8 because of our 6, 8, our beautiful 6, 8 sort of leftover pair there. So this isn't 6, 8. This one now isn't 5, 7. So we get that sort of arrangement. So there is another 6, 8 here. 5, there's a 7 up there. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure that that's going to take us much further. But we do have a 1, 3 over here. Now, 11 doesn't need 2 lows, does it? Not sure what to do with this line yet. Is there going to be more maths then? No, I don't see anywhere else to do math. Okay. The 9 in row 2 has a 2 on it. 2. 9 in row, okay. The 9 in row 1 has a 2 on it. And either way it's filled puts row 5, 7, 9 on the Nabner. 5, 7, 9. Okay, hold on. So the claim is that there's definitely a 2 on it, which there must be because we have to have 2 low digits. So I'm with you so far. Because that's one of the low digits. And so we need 2 plus the other of 1 or 3. So this is either a 1, 2, 6 or a 2, 3, 4 here. And then the second part of that says either way it's filled, it puts 5, 7, 9 on the Nabner. So, this is because we ruled out the weird one, right? Is that true? Which is the weird one? 1, 2. No, the weird one was 1, 3, 5. The weird one was 1, 3, 5. We looked at this before, and the possibility of it being 1, 3, 5 made this clunky. But now it's not 1, 3, 5. It has a 2. So if it's 1, 2, 6, so let's look at this. This is very cool. If this is 1, 2, 6, this you need the 3, 5, 7, 9. It's the only way that works. If this is not 1, 2, 6, if it's 2, 3, 4, you need 1 and then 5, 7, 9. So it's always this digit plus a 5, 7, 9. However that works. That's lovely. Now that's not 5. We don't actually know whether that's 3 or 4. We're saying this creates a 9 X-wing in these two. Both row 1, row 3, box 1, box 2. So we get a 9 down here. No. What were we saying? Because one of these has to be 9? Because we need... Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't think I'd appreciated that. Is this what you're getting at? I think there's multiple things here. So the first thing I can see is that we have a 9 here and we have a 9 here, so we need a 9 over here. So that much I can see. I think that's also true for 7s, isn't it? It's also true for 7. 7 and 9 and 5. That's just a 5, 7, 9 triple. Okay. That's very cool. Because where do 5, 7, and 9 go in the box? It's not there. Yes. Very cool. Okay. So that's a 5, 7, 9 triple. I love that. But also, that means that this can't be a 2, I think. Because we need 5, 7, and 9 to exist in those 3 cells. Because we can't put... Like, let's say this was a 2. We need a 7 and a 9 over here. And then we need a 7 and a 9 on this line, but only one of them could get hidden up here in box 1. So one of 7 or 9 would have to go there. So that can never be a 2. That's a 7, 9 pair, which gives us, takes 9 out of that. And I think this becomes a 2, 4, or 5. So that's a 2 or a 4 because it can't be a 5 because of the box. So that's just completing the column here. 7, 9, that's a quadruple. And then this becomes a triple, but it can't be a 5, which means there is a 5 here. And this is not a 5. And then we have a 7, 9 here and a 9 there, which means we need a 9 down here, which we already knew somehow. I don't even know how I knew that. Okay. I don't know how I knew that that wasn't a 9. Maybe I took it out already. And what are we saying? What if the row 2 Nabner doesn't have 6 and 8? Ah, yes, that's a very good point. Because we can't have 5, 7, or 9 on here. So if it didn't have even just 8, we're down to 6, 4, 2, and that's not enough cells. So we need 8 and 6 on here, and they must go in these 2 cells. Very nice spot. Who put that? Screaming Ice Cube. Yes. And then this is interesting. 6 and 8. If that's a 3, what's this? That doesn't work at all. So that has to be a 1. That becomes a 3. This now becomes the 4. So now we need 2 and 3. Is that right? So that's a 2 and a 3. I think that's correct. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that becomes the other 6 or 8 here, which we can do a little bit of cleaning up our pencil marks down here. It's 2, 5. I think I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of all my corner marks. It's confusing me more than anything. Right. So what does that tell us? This now, does that sort this out? I think it does, right? Because it can't be 2, 3, 4. So it has to be 1, 2, 6. It does. 1, 2, 6. Which means that this is the 8. That's a 6 down here. Now this cell surely must be known as 1, 2, 3, 4. It must be a 4. We get an 8 down here. That becomes a 4. Those are not 4. There's a 1 here, so that has to be the 1. Okay. Very cool. This is really, really nice, actually. Yeah, Isaiah, this was set 2.8 hours ago. There's something along those. Let me refresh. It might be older now. 3.5 hours ago now. Yeah, so hot off the presses. This one now can't be a 1, 3, but we had a 1, 3 corner mark down here. So actually, we can get these two as a 1, 3 center mark. This now isn't 4 or 8. Okay. There's no 7 or 9 down here, but that's easy enough to place in other cells. This 1, 3 pair now. There's a 9 here. I don't know what I was doing. We got a 4 and a 9. So now these aren't 4, which means it's not the 984 version. It's the 9 or 579 version. So that's not a 7 over here. And that's a 2, 5. This now surely must be known as a 6 or an 8. Okay. Which is definitely going to do something here, but I'm not quite sure yet exactly what. Well, that's not a 7. We can say that because it would break no matter whether this is 6 or 8. So if this is 5, that's 8. If that's 9, that's 6. And I'm sure we'll come on to that in good time. So where is the spot now? This can't be 1, 3, or 4. So it's 2, 5, or 6. Because it can't be anything higher than that. I don't think that's quite right. We're meant to do anything with this. Is it the 11 cage? Or is it these giant lines coming out of a 9 cage? It seems the most likely, doesn't it? Right. So this line, these two cells can't be 1 or 3. If there was no 1, no, it really doesn't do it, does it? Okay. Hmm. Where's the next spot? Where is the next spot? Is it thinking about this 11 cage? If that's 1, this is just any way of making 10. If that's a 3, we need 8 without it being 3, 5. So if this is 3, 2, 6, or 1. Oh, it can't be 1, 7. So if this is 3, it's 2 and 6. Is that broken? 3, 2, 6. It makes that an 8. And that becomes a 6. Which puts a 6 over here. Which makes that an 8 and that a 5. I don't think chasing something down like that is the move here. This is a really nice start to this puzzle. Or I mean more than start, but yeah. I really like that actually. I'm very glad that I did this on stream though, because I don't think I would have thought about. I thought that these were just meant to disambiguate later, not part of the main break-in, or like the 20 cage. I was definitely thinking it was like 8s and 9s and stuff like that. So that was a really clever and nicely kind of disguised open there. But I feel like I'm stuck again here. What if I like this. The chat's just calling these pretzel sticks. So what if this pretzel stick here in column 9 doesn't have a 3? That's the question. And this is okay. So this is I don't do enough Nabner puzzles, but I do know the logic behind this. Once you have an 8, then because 9 can't go on it, you end up with this sort of pair situation I looked at before. So you get a 1, 2, a 3 or a 4, a 5 or a 6. It has to be from that because you can't put 7 or 9 on. So the highest digit you can get to is 6. So you have 1 of 5 or 6, 1 of 3 or 4, and 1 of 1 or 2. And since we don't have a 4, there's definitely a 3 on here. And there being a 3 on here means that there's a 1 on here. So there's a 1 and a 3 plus a 5 or a 6. So definitely 1 and 3 like that, which means this isn't 1 or 3, which means this is a 1-3 pair over there, which is quite cool. So we get our little 1-3 X-wing. Presumably there's going to be a 4 on here that disambiguates. That is what I'm assuming is going to happen. So there's definitely I was going to say something completely gibberish. Okay, so there's 1 and 3 and 5 or 6. So what digits are we missing? Yeah, 7 and 9 and 2. There's a 2 down here. Okay. This is the first Nabner puzzle you created. Very nice. I actually haven't made one yet. I've solved a couple. I did a few of Zeta's when they came out. I think he sort of coined Nabner, even though I think in the end we've discovered that other people have used similar type lines. But yeah, I haven't set one either, which is why the logic is sort of somewhat unfamiliar with me. So pretzel stick fits, even though okay, all right. Evens in box 9. Thank you. Where are 4 and 8 is the different way of thinking about it. None of these are evens. None of these are evens. Those can't be 4 and 8. That's a 4-8 pair. Very nicely spotted. Which takes 8 out of that cell. Does it do anything else? It puts a 4 in one of these two. Doesn't quite do anything with 8s. I don't think. Not to the same degree. Well, that can't be an 8. Can it? Oh, it could, couldn't it? 8, 9, 10, 11. Balderdash. Okay. Okay, GDC. You've said a few. I'm trying to think if I've ever even used it at all. I don't think I've ever used it in anything that I've done. Um, it's definitely a fun constraint. It's um, it's weird though because like 5 is so like forced, right? It's 1 3 5 7 9. It's the only way. 4, like there's so much. Like I feel like you really have to have length 4 lines because you have like a bunch of like length 2 or 3 lines, and you're just like that. Okay, that could be anything. So they really have to be length 4 lines. It's like the only sort of sweet spot in my mind, anyway. It might be not true, but okay. So now we should know exactly what these two cells are, which is what I should be thinking about here, which is a 6 and a 2, right? And so this isn't 6 anymore. That is 1 3 5, which means that these aren't 5. That's a 7 9. Right? All that logic was right, right? Yeah, it sure was. Okay. So let's get rid of our corner marks there. So there's a 5 in one of those and a 5. Yeah, okay. And then again, how do we break? I mean, by uniqueness, I think that this has to be a. Oh no, that's what this does. I don't know what it is, but this is forcing us not to have a 5 ambiguity there. Okay, so if this is 3, that's 8. If there's an 8 on the line and a 3, we also need a 1, which we can't have. Okay, yes. If this is a 3, I think the world's broken because we can't have a 1 or a 2 or a 4. So then this would be 8 and 6, and then that's it. That's all you can do. 3, 8, and then 6 is the only other digit you can put on here, because 5 and 4 are locked out from the 3. We can't put a 1 because we have a 1 3 pair already. So this is a 1. And I don't know. I don't think that gets us anywhere because that's the less constrained iteration of it. Row 5, column 7 is restricted. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, column 7 is restricted. It can't be 1 3 5 2. Right? Is there more? It can't be 1 3 5 or 2. Is it more restricted than? Oh, right, because of the 9 cage. Fabulous. Can't be 9 or 8 either. Can't be 7 either. So it's 4 or 6. Sorry, I totally didn't. I just spaced that out. Got it. Good point. Where are 5 and 9 in box 8? They're definitely up here. That one can't be a 9, so 9's in one of these two. But I do think 5 could be in that one, can't it? I do think so, unless I'm missing something. The row 5, column 6 cage can't be 1 3 5. It can't be 1 3 5, so it has to have a 2 in it. Because it's either 1 2 6 or 2 3 4. So 2 3 4 or 1 2 6. So that's a 1 or a 3 also, I think. I don't think that can be anything else because we need 2 low digits always. And if that was a 2, then we have 2 high digits. So actually that can't be a 2. That must be a 2. Right. And then that's going to be, if that's a 3, that's a 4. If that's a 1, that's a 6. Okay, but that does give me a 1 3 pair in this column. Now, does that break again if I put a 3 here? Just exactly the same way it did here. I think it does, right? Because if this is oh no, because I can't put a 1 on it. So now I couldn't put 1, 2, or 4. So I could go 3, 5, 7, 9. Oh, it doesn't work because here I had the 8 that got forced. 3, 5, 7, 9 could work actually. Does it break? That does break. Okay. So it's a little tricky to see this, but if this is a 3, the world breaks because this becomes a 1. And now the only way that this line works is if that's a 5, 7, 9 triple, which breaks that cell. So I did see it. I'm going to take it. That's a 1. That's a 3. This now is a 6. That's not 1. 6. And this is a 1. 2, 6 here. Okay. Now, does that 6 force an 8 onto this line? No, it doesn't. Does it force a 4 onto? I don't think it really forces very much, does it? If that's 8, this could be 3 or 4. Well, it can't be 3. What's that digit? Let me do this real quick. It's not 1, 3, 5, 2, 6, 7, 4, 8, or 9. If that's 4, then that's 8. If that's 8, then that's 4. If that's 9, then that's 4. Okay. Darn it. I thought that was going to get a little bit closer. Let's see what people are saying. People are talking about the 11 cage now. Okay. Oh, all right. I can see that there's a 3 here. Refuse to do the math. I refuse to do the math. Right. Okay. So let's think about the 11 cage here. I'm going to try to not read what they wrote in chat, which might be a fool's errand. But the point is that can't be 5. That's easy straight up to see because we needed 10. So if that's a 5, we need another 5. Right. So that one's easy. So we need some confluence of digits that adds to so this is a 5, 9 pair. That's the sort of easier low-hanging fruit there. So now is this a 2, 6, or 7? I think just by sudoku, because we've got 1, 3, 4, 8, 5, 9. So that's a 2, 6, or 7. Now, if that's a 2, this is an 8. 4 or 3 doesn't work. Right, so that's not a 7. So that's a 2 or a 6, giving me a 2, 6 pair, making this a 7. Now, yeah, okay. Do we have something going on here? Maybe. We need a 7 in one of these two. Do we know 5, 7, 9? Not quite. Looks like there wants to be a triple here. 2 in column 5. Can't be there. Can't it be there or here? Do we know that? Somebody said nice. I'm going to assume you were talking about me instead of the people 4 steps ahead of me in the chat. So thank you for that. The other digits in the 11 cage are even. Yes. 2, 8, or 6, 4. That's correct. Okay. And then column 4, the square pretzel can't have a 3. If this was a 3, that both become 9. That's a great spot, actually. Very good. Very good Nabner logic there. So these now aren't 9. What does that do for me? Now I think we have one even digit that goes on here. Don't we? because we've got 3 even did. Oh no, because that could be the 2. Sorry, this one's still ambiguous as to its parity there. Okay. Did I put a 9 here instead of a 3? Is that what people are doing here? Yeah, that's what people are doing. That's why I see my chat going crazy. That's madness that I would just put a 9 there. Okay, cool. Okay, my bad. We squared it up. We're square. Everybody chill out. No, I know you guys are just lagging. Or at least I see it a little bit lagged there. Okay, so 3. That means nothing to me. That does nothing. The 9 was more useful. 1, 2, and 3 now in this box. Ugh. I don't think so. 1. Okay, so 2 in this column. Oh, there was 2 in this column. Was actually more powerful than I thought. It can't go down here because there's a 1 on the Nabner line. Duh. Okay, so somebody mentioned that, and I was being slow, but we got there in the end. Now, I think there is potentially something to say about this is 1 odd and 1 even. Does that mean anything to me? It means that it takes up the sort of gap. When you have a 4-length Nabner, it takes up the gap. Like, yeah, if this is, like, let's say this is I don't know. You can only switch from odd to even once, basically, is what I'm getting at. So, is that true? Hold on. Let me think about that. There might be easier things. But this is an odd and an even. Oh, no, because it could go like odd, odd, even, even. I was thinking that this couldn't have 9s then because you couldn't have an odd and an even and an odd and even. But that's not at all true. Okay. So, my bad. 2 in column 4. 2, boom, bing. There. 2, 8. 2. 6, 8. 6. 2, 6. 6, 8. Now, actually, we have a much clearer sense of what these can be. 1, 2, 3. So we have a 4 definitely on here now, which is going to give us a 9 there and a 2 here. So 2, 9, that's 4. It's not 4. So then we also need, the 9 definitely has to be up there then, which means this one isn't 9. 4, and the 5 can't be on here in this column, so that has to be the 5 there, which means that's a 7. That's a 9. So now we need a 4 and a 7. 7, 9. Get rid of those. This now can't be a 7. Does that put a 7 here? It sure does, doesn't it? Sure does. Which gives us the 4, which gives us a 9 and a 5. This now is sorted out. Down here, 9, 7, 5, 8, 4, 8. I'm getting excited. Feels like there's we might get through this. Okay, so this can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be 6. It can't be 7, 8, or 9, so it must be 6. That's a 6, which tells us we should be able to solve this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Okay. I think we're honing in here. We need this digit should be known as a 7, which tells us this one. And then we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9. So 8, 9, and then we need a 2, a 4, and a 9. Lovely. Thank you all so much for the support with that one, and thank you for watching the video. Wow. So this is a really cool puzzle. Dorlir. It feels actually. There was how long ago was this? Simon thought he could tell certain famous setters by their style, and I'm not suggesting that if I had seen this anonymously I would guess you, but it fits your other style, very clean, beautiful, sort of simple rules, a couple of 2 things that interact, and mathsy. This feels very much like a Dorlir thing. That is a Dorlir break-in, for sure. And it was beautiful. So I like that a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Thanks for watching. Until next time.